Hey y'all, thanks for joining Panda on the Ant Panda channel. I'm Panda, otherwise known as Ant Panda, but whatever. Anyway, wanted to do a quick video. Actually, it's not really that quick. I actually did a little bit of an investigative work in Resident Evil 3 for Jill Valentine's scene analysis for her apartment building in the whole intro scene of Resident Evil 3. What's also included with this is I also wanted us to compare the GFuel energy formula for the Nemesis Tea Flavor, the reskin that came out, and wanted to compare the labels and also the taste and stuff just to see if that actually mixes up well and is the same. I'm sure it will be. I'll go ahead and throw the labels up top, but essentially we're looking at the comparison here, and both the energy complexes of everything is actually quite identical. A few small differences though that it's probably not really going to do a whole lot, especially with the taste, but also with the benefits as well. So when I compared the new and the old energy complex, when you have the energy complex portion in the new Nemesis Tea Flavor, especially if you look in the label, and I'll go ahead and throw it up here as well just to do a quick comparison, you'll notice that the actual organization of taurine, L-citrulline, melatonin, the caffeine, glucosamine, and the N-acetylene camentine are actually in different spots and actually include that energy complex part as well as the focus complex part, which is tyrosine, acetylene, and adenosine 5-triphosphate. Of course, taurine and caffeine is all in there. All of the totals actually check out. All of the tests actually are the same as far as what is included with it. But there is one small difference, and it's not too huge. It may be just because of the fact that the old Nemesis Tea itself is organized a little bit different. It has a little bit of a difference in what's actually shown, and that is the focus complex of the old Nemesis Tea Flavor, which is this one, has 1001 milligrams of focus complex, while the new one, the reskin, actually has 1005 milligrams of the focus complex. So in other words, the new tea flavor, the Nemesis reskin, the taste shouldn't be any different, but we're going to check it out anyways. However, the focus of this should be slightly better because there's, well, I guess because of the fact that there's more of an abundance, like 4 milligrams of additional focus complex. But anyway, go ahead and throw these into both of our clear shakers here so that we can see if there's any difference. Knowing how this works, it's probably going to look and taste the same, but you never know. You might as well take a look and compare, because this in itself, the reason why I'm doing all this is because, I won't lie, this is actually my favorite flavor of G. So we'll go ahead and throw this in there, the right amount of scooping here. Oops. Yeah, you don't put that on the top. And then we'll go ahead and open the new one as well. I have to say I love the new design. The new design has a lot more of the look and feel of the remake, which I actually am a pretty big fan of. Even though I know the traditional, well actually even Nemesis in this old one is the new remake version. But that's all you see. You don't see Jill, you don't see Carlos on here as well. So we'll go ahead and, oh, of course the scooper's at the bottom. Okay, let's remeasure. And then throw this in here as well. I did it again. You don't put a shaker top on top of your GFuel, because, alright, let's go ahead and throw these on there, push down appropriately, same with this one, and we'll go ahead and shake both of these here. Alright, as we look and compare, it does look like the actual colors are pretty much the same. We'll just go ahead and give it a taste. Oh god, that's so good. It's definitely like a Nemesis Tea Flavor or taste. And then compare with the new. Fantastic on both. Both essentially taste the same. But yes, the focus complex that consists of the L-tyrosine, the acetylene tyrosine, and the adenosine 5-triphosphate is the only difference, which is disodium salt, is the only difference compared to the two. The focus complex in the old is 1,001 milligrams, and then the new one has about 4 more milligrams, so 1,005, which is the only difference. Overall, both these look the same to me. Both of them taste pretty much the same, so I don't think you're going to get much of a difference with this investigation, other than, of course, the 4 milligrams we just talked about. So definitely encourage it. It's definitely my favorite flavor, and I will definitely have a lot more of these with me all the time. So with that, I wanted to start off this long video with the investigation that we did in Jill's apartment complex in the intro scenes with the GFuel, because I love the GFuel flavor. And again, only difference is 4 milligrams in the focus complex. Let's go ahead and dig into the actual gameplay and look at Jill Valentine's nightmare and her surviving the nightmare and surviving the initial encounter that she has with Nemesis. And we can find out more about Jill and all the experiences that she's been dealing with and going over from the first game into number 3, thinking and understanding her a little bit more of how she's dealing with Nemesis. Enjoy. Welcome, ladies and gents. This is Panda on the Amp Panda channel. We're going to take a look at Jill's Valentine's apartment in the Resident Evil 3 remake. As we know from previous investigations in Resident Evil 2, in the Mizoil gas station, and also Raccoon City Department, we were able to find different things like crimes, things that kind of speak to the characters and wonders of Leon and Claire and whatnot. And we're going to look at the same in Jill's apartment just to see if the canon kind of speaks out from the original Resident Evil games. And as you remember, in Resident Evil, the original PlayStation 1 version, Jill was an expert in not just unlocking button stars, indicated that she had a little bit of a crime spree in the beginnings of the S.D. Perry novels, and also she was a machine expert. So let's take a look and see what we can find in the first-person view mode in Jill's apartment. The other thing too to keep in mind, this is the nightmare, so we're going to look and compare the nightmare of Jill Valentine and just kind of see how it translates to maybe some of the things that she is dealing with, thinking about, and going from there. Now, as you can see, her bed is actually kind of well put together. She does have some clothes kind of spread out here. That looks like she has her extra clothes and whatnot. She doesn't really do a lot of organization or basically put a lot of clothes, back in kind of the hamper just for organized. Looks like she's a fan of coffee, especially with an old-fashioned coffee kind of carafe with a coffee cup, and it looks like we have some medical pills here. Can't really tell which due to the lighting. The only thing we can assume is most likely it's probably just headache meds. So she's probably dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of headache medication. So we'll look into her shelf here. She's got a bunch of books here. The books themselves don't really say much other than Fearless Betrayal, something about Louisiana, Creators' Rights, 2020, which I'm guessing is just the year. Fighting Street, which could be a reference to kind of, what she was experiencing in her, kind of her street times of the street crimes of, since she's a master of unlocking, it's always kind of assumed that she kind of was really big on, B&Es and robbery and theft. Probably not really caught prior to the RPD or joining Stars. But yeah, Fearless Betrayal, that's probably her getting over Wesker's betrayal in the first game. Unnerving Combat, obviously she's a combat expert. Wartime, Photojournalism, home. They killed him, which I'm not entirely sure what that means. More creators' rights, and then insects, which with the insect book, we can kind of take from that she looked a little bit more in the biology, probably from the first game, fighting the spiders, also some of the terrible, awful things, the ravens, dogs, and even the snakes that yawn that she fought against. So, a little bit above that, looks like we've got some powder here. It's got some nutrition facts. Can't really tell what that is. Looks like we got some more meds here. We got the little pen cup and the pens. Looks like we got a cactus and an RPD. Well, really, it's just an unmarked police car that she actually cares about. So it's that older model, though, that the RPD has. And then it looks like it's probably a badge of honor of some sort, which I assume is probably from the events of the first one. A bunch of bookmarks. We have her beret from RPD Stars from the first game. And we also see a little bit of her fashion side with her purses, bags, and then more of the books and whatnot, but pretty dirty, hasn't really moved. And yeah, if we look at the posters on the wall here, it looks like she also is a little bit into fashion. Stone Age girl, bring out your wild side. Ride, not in reference to Ride from Norma Reedus. Style and fashion, hot autumn looks for Crescent. Looks like she might be slightly into science fiction, or if that's just the fashion style with the silver original colors. And then we'll look a little bit more. Her phone's right here. She's got a little bit of a photo, 2 photos here that are into just landscaping, and it looks like she might be a fan of wine, as she's got that. But for the most part, her her dresser is pretty clean and organized. So looks like we've got some lotions here on top of the AC unit here. And then her TV, which is very much, doesn't really show much, obviously. Old-fashioned, even component outlets in the front, which I guess given the timeline, well, if it's 2020 in this case, then that's a little bit dated, so. Definitely a concrete top. With it raining pretty hard outside. Shut this. More books here. Sudden Mystery. That's really all we're going to be able to see. Looks like we got a little bit more modern art painting here. She does have a lantern on by the heater. That's here, the heater pipes. Likes sandals, likes a nice rug, obviously. We got the cleaner spray, and looks like we've got some beer here with plastic cup. She does have a little plant here, looks like palm trees, so probably mostly, I don't know, could be Florida, could be California. Raccoon Police Department with Brian Irons' signature at the bottom. I assume this is probably an award, probably from the first one. We got a calendar here indicating it's September. More of the same book assets we've seen before, and then of course the fan that's going back and forth with an envelope. And then we've got the cork pin area here. Looks like she's got a bunch of different photographs here. Probably a vacation and things to go after with the Daily Raccoon. Some RPD stars. We got a big bomb there in color of a color cartoon. She is a fan of dogs, and a bunch of daily news articles here. Investigation of human eating cases is stalled. So this talks about teenage charged with murder after dead bodies of a whole family found in an isolated private house in the suburb. So looks like these are also going to have some articles from the first game of what caused them to kind of go out into the mansion in the first place because of all the remains that were found, where people are getting murdered and killed and eaten. Looks like we got a trash can here with a bunch of papers, and then movable papers of investigative works. We got the original STARS team picture that we've seen before. Looks like we've got a bunch of papers here at the top right, and that is going to be trying to put a name to the face here. Not too sure whose face that is. I know it's probably gone away from me, but looks like we got some papers here, all kind of linked to Umbrella, even with STARS. Even with these folks here, which looks like it could possibly be parasitic instead of a viral. Raccoon Police Department, which obviously she knows is kind of turned, and then that daily news article we saw over here is actually here on one of the houses here next to Central Raccoon Line. And then yeah, the RPD kind of photo that shows it right there with a bunch of viral kind of notes here. Well, looks like we got number one here. It looks like a bunch of zombie type, viral type photos as well. And 7, 8, looks like she's got about 11 pieces of evidence here that she's associating with the rest. Next to the Raccoon Police Department building, we have also another note here we can't really read. And then we also have a jean jacket, so she's very retro into style. She's also got, it looks like a button-up. It looks like a Henley, but it's not. It's just a button-up shirt. So opposite side of the bed here, it looks like she's got probably her current purse or satchel she's using that she takes around with her. And then yeah, there's a bed is next to kind of an inside window here. Looks like we got a trigger event here that sends the lightning storm off. More of those books. We've seen those boxes and everything, and then a boom box with CDs. Looks like we've got a bunch of CDs with no spines on them, by the looks of it. Can't really tell what that is. It looks like there's kind of like more like pop or 90s music there. Yeah, the spines are all just kind of generic and blank. With a daily report book. And it looks like a bunch of towels there. Looks like we got some more closets here. We have a blue jacket. Looks like another button-up shirt. Another pair of her black pants that she wears. And stuff actually put in boxes here. All Hail Caesar. With pair of kicks. Skechers. And her main door with a window up top and some pipes at the top. Umbrellas, bunch of boxes that are already actually, looks like they're taped up, ready to go. She's got a bunch of tape here and a plant. She's got her little buffet table here into her kitchen. Looks like she likes toast and jelly. Looks like we've got a bunch of cans here. Sheila. Can't really tell the rest. The same type of, let's see here. Same type of wine. The Carrata Santa Tains. We've got salt and pepper and sugar. It looks like we've got some bottles here that look similar to Smucker's strawberry and grape jelly. And then yeah, she's a fan of coffee, so there's a coffee cup there with a saucer. Loves her teapot. Probably not super great on cleaning her stove. Moon's Donuts. Sweet sale, $1 off, revival selection.
bunch of stuff. There's a little bit of paper here that she actually put up here. Not too sure what that indicates and can't really read it. Same here. A lot of papers I can't read. Obviously Kendo with her Star Special, the Samurai Edge. Flaky bakery bread. Oh, yeah. More of the same stuff we've seen. Paul's Burgers. Alright, and then more of the burgers as well. Green herbs. Good feeling. So, obviously herbs is a big thing. But she's also kind of a fan of burgers. With toast and all that stuff. Freedom. And Earth at the top. Some more completed boxes here. You got some more, pictures here. It looks like that could be a picture, Chris, but that's just assuming with the vest. We've got 2 cats here. And that's about it. Minato's Pizza, anytime, anywhere delivery. We'll even deliver to Mars. With an alien and an astronaut. Which is kind of cool. I never realized that. So, definitely not a vegetarian, or at least is a fan of, I would say, hamburgers and pizza, probably meat and stuff like that. Dark color for her hamper. We've got some detergent here. Some more detergent, bath cleaning stuff. She definitely is very versatile versus fashion when it comes to her bathroom, because there's a lot of things ready in, kind of have the ability to have ready and available with toilet paper sack the way it was. A basket, towels and everything, yet somewhat organized for certain things that she needs to be organized for. Her gun is obviously there with a bunch of makeup and cosmetics, so she does appreciate, kind of getting nice and set up and ready for the day. And her in her pajama, at least her pajama top, with the same black pants that she wears. So we'll go through the dream sequence then and see and compare. Having the water kind of the way it is, and then obviously dripping blood showing the nightmare that she's turning.
Gets worse every night.
So with that statement, that obviously means that she's dealing with a lot of night terrors and dream states of dealing with the zombie outbreak. More pictures of puppies. Looks like we've got a gentleman here and a few folks here on the right with fingerprints and everything here.
3 more days, then I can kiss this town goodbye.
With a plan of leaving here in 3 days. Obviously, she's indicating it's the worst month of her life. And looks like instead of the wine that we had over here, it looks like it's more coffee. So the wine's just kind of more of an elegance, I think, in her thinking of being able to enjoy and have herself some alcohol. So in real life here, this is a little less organized when we compare. There's a lot more trash kind of spread out, a little bit more urgency on things. Obviously with the light off and everything kind of shown here. More, Brian Irons evidence files. It's a little bit more realistic in that sense. this kind of alludes to Raccoon City, obviously with the T-virus outbreak from the first game, and indicates that it's doing more than just medicine. But very similar to what we've seen before. Instead of less of, you know, something kind of blocking this area here, it looks like we get an idea a little bit more of the Raccoon Times here. It's a victory, but not enough. Wants to review sanctions. Pope may visit for some reason. Let's see here. And then, yeah, number 1 is kind of shown here. It looks like we've got, yeah, the same RPD picture. We got Miss Birkin up there. And then we have the photo, and then this is Jill's report. September 26th. Indicates the T virus and those infected by the virus. Contact with crows which have been eaten, affected Karen. Due to the strength virus, airborne infection cannot be discounted. So this also indicates that also as part of her night terrors that they're not exactly sure that even though they survived the first one, not sure if the virus is actually just in their system with a long incubation period, so that's what's causing kind of her night terrors and some of the nightmare that we're seeing. Which is interesting to note because I don't think it's ever kind of shown that in a previous Resident Evil game that, you know, with the survivors from the first one, never really indicated that they could possibly be thinking that they could have a long incubation period of it being in their system. And they could be already infected already. So that's got to have a pretty terrible mental toll on the survivors for sure. Because it would on me, especially if you think that you're possibly infected. A lot of this is going to be the same that we've seen here, except there's more files, and even an interesting thing is that we have an FBI file instead of the Brian Irons evidence file. So Federal Bureau of Investigation, so the FBI is actually involved, but maybe not super involved with Jill. She just has a file here though, so maybe they're helping her along the way. Maybe she knows somebody in the FBI, but it's not super clear that the FBI was kind of involved. We got the TV kind of showing some news. This is from the first intro video of Resident Evil 3 Remake, showing kind of the events of it, kind of showing up here with the super old TV that we have here. We got a bit more files, a bit more trash in the area, but the art and everything is the same. The phone is still there. Got her same type of pictures up on the wall. And this looks largely the same on her shelf. Except the difference here is that we have the box of pills that are actually moved to the shelf and a lot more pills here. A lot of different variations, so she's definitely suffering from some form of night terror, probably having trouble sleeping and whatnot. Yeah, and lots of different pills here. Some could be attributed to headaches, which we could assume is why she probably had some issues there on the right side of her face. Well, technically it'd be her left side. It'd be us viewing the right side as she was turning in the nightmare in the dream. Still a fan of coffee, it looks like. And then also we've got a difference here where the curtains actually opened up and she's got beer and her alarm clock. Her bed is about just as unorganized as it was before, but even worse, with lots of file boxes here. We got some tape. It looks like she's trying to get some things boxed up for the big move. The same satchel or purse that she used is there, and then some of her unfolded boxes are right here. So, very interesting differences here. And then, of course, we've got a whiteboard indicating about August 7th. We're up. ideology. Looks like this is more or less kind of a whiteboard that was kind of used probably at the RPD most likely, or at her job. Boombox looks about the same. Everything up top is about the same as well. And then we'll look at this. So this is an unsealed envelope. Barely eating, barely sleeping, very similar to what she's feeling like. So it looks like this is her help in the investigation. I don't know if this is, I don't think this is actually from someone on the team itself, but it could be in reference to the investigative files. Now, since she's part of the RPD, she has access to a lot of these Brian Irons evidence files, but the one thing she probably does not have evidence of is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So most likely this contact, this person that she's speaking to, is probably from the FBI that's actually helping her. But it could be the fact that they're being watched. I don't know how the feds would be watched, but maybe by Umbrella and others. Maybe it's just a single agent that's been assigned to it. It's hard to really tell. Alright, and if we compare kind of what we were seeing in the dream versus here, I mean, obviously she's got, looks like she's got her same clothes with the button up. There's, looks like there might be a few additions here. Some more file boxes here, some sweatshirts. All Hail Caesar's the same, and she's also got those plaques that we were seeing on the shelf. I don't know if the same one was taken. Nope, looks like it's still there. Here. The door looks about the same. It looks like there's even more boxes kind of put here, so, which is cool. This shows a lot more progress with her packing up stuff, more newspapers there. Shows she's been eating some. The wine is still here with the cans, salt and pepper, sugar shakers, a little bit more notes here on the side. And then the pizza, which I think is attributed from a message here. This one's a lot more about RPD and stars. So she did get suspended afterwards. Enjoy the extra large mega meat supreme. It's on me and the guys. So yeah, definitely she's not a vegetarian. She loves her mega meat pizza. It looks like a lobster bisque of some sort. Probably got some potatoes, maybe some fries with some ketchup, some old coffee, and soup here. I don't know what that is. Kushi. Some different seasonings. Yeah, a little bit more piled on trash here. More beer. Moon's Donuts is all the same. We got some spaghetti. And about the same type of stuff here, kind of put here, except in color. We got a little bit more of food here. We got raccoon milk. We got some more beers. Some of the beers also are reminiscent from Resident Evil 2 that we saw in the Ms. Oil gas station. Some that look like Blue Moon, regular Budweiser. We got some more flaky bread, bakery bread. We got her jelly, her Smuckers. It looks like we got some Sprite and some wine here on the side. And that's about all we're gonna catch. We got a few more sodas here and stuff like that. So, and some donuts. So, all right, and all that is connected through. We'll go ahead through this scene here. Of course, the door likes to kind of shut by itself. This is when we switch to third-person view mode.
Who could that be?
Yeah, the bathroom seems about the same, stacked the same.
All
It's
right,
got the
I'm
same
coming.
everything. The only thing that's missing is her gun, which it looks like more or less is probably with her at this point. You can still look at the fridge the same way.
Just a sec.
But yeah, that's gonna be the big whole thing about her apartment's very versatile,
could
very
call back.
functional. Obviously there's no rain. There's a lot of kind of, you know, dusty remnants in the air, which is what they put as particles in there. Phone's very functional though.
Hello?
Jill, are you okay?
Brad, is that you?
Listen, you gotta get out of there.
What are you talking about?
I don't have time to explain. You gotta get out of there right now.
All right, let me grab my...
Then we have Nemesis that comes in. And then the samurai comes in. His face. Obviously lessons from the first Resident Evil.
What the hell is that thing?
Let's see here. .403. Can't really go much backwards here. With the exit, and definitely a lot of things kind of in craziness and chaos out in the living or in the hallway there. So she went into the neighbor's apartment with the same type of beers, looks like American flag stuff. Woman in Black, Mona Lisa, Show Devils. The same type of layout by the looks of it. Looks like you got the bathroom, kitchen, everything else here. But as you can see with the tape here, the yellow tape, it looks like there might have been a crime that occurred here. Can't really tell which, but it looks like with this one though, the layout is very similar, but there is no little window in between with a big entertainment center and a bed here with a bunch of things. Looks like a package there. Little trigger there. Big duffel bag. Sigourney. I never realized Sigourney was in here. And yeah, we got some police vehicles down here. Looks like we got an oil spill. On the inside of the building, so we're gonna go downstairs. Looks like another set of yellow tape, which I know this is an indicator, but it could also mean that a crime was committed. Murder, probably beanie or breakage. This layout looks a lot different. Lots of plants and herbs.
Okay. What the fuck?
And that's about it for Jill's apartment, based on what we're seeing.
Jill? Over here!
Brad,
You okay?
what was that thing?
Damned if I know. But right now it's got a hard-on for the only 2 stars left in town. You and me. I'm not sticking around. Just look around you. The longer we wait, the more screwed we are.
And that about does
This
it.
all happened so fast.
I don't know.
These are going to be the same emergency places that she came down on seeing. Obviously, there's some destruction that happened along the way. And also, there's probably a little bit more minimal details that were kind of removed to save on memory. But yeah, it looks like we got some collisions here and some police departments here. But overall, what we can summarize is that certainly Jill is very focused on being versatile, very much handling a situation with functional means, and also kind of likes to have a little bit of style based on kind of her preferences. Big fan of coffee, loves some wine and some beer, and definitely some pizza, hamburgers, and also I would say in my from looking at everything, I mean there is a few more things of some cat outlines, but I would say she's more of a dog person, at least in her experience with what we've seen. So either she owned a dog or has close friends with dogs. And it looks like during this part of the investigation, the FBI was looking to help to some degree, as they provided some FBI files out of it, which was pretty cool. Didn't really know the FBI was involved, but they certainly were, and must have taken some things into account. So, but yeah, ultimately that's what we found. Might have been a few crimes that were committed either next door or below. Obviously with the yellow tape there, probably some breaking and entering, some riots, maybe some murders. And overall though, that's what we can look, and the differences of the dreams is that she's suffering from some post-traumatic stress, I'm sure, definitely suffering from some headaches, having trouble sleeping and anxiety based on all of the pills and everything that we've seen. And that's about what we can gather. So thanks for popping on the video. I'll catch you in the next one.